Welcome, listeners, to Half Haunted, the podcast where we tiptoe between the paranormal and the funny side of life. We will share tales of ghostly encounters and everything in between. Join us on this hauntingly hilarious journey as we explore the unexplained, the eerie, and the downright funny encounters that life brings. So grab your drink and a snack and get ready to laugh and gasp in equal measure as we uncover the mysteries of the half-haunted world, where the paranormal meets the punchline. I'm Candy, your half-haunted host, where the ghosts have a sense of humor and the spirits have stories to share. Hey, welcome back to episode 7. I'm here with my co-host Raji. How are you, Raji? We missed you last episode at the Ashmore Estates.
Good, and you? I think I was on the ocean at that time.
You were cruising along the ocean with the Bahamas with your family. You had a good time?
Yes, I did. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. Ashmore Estates was pretty fun and scary at the same time. We caught some stuff. So, yeah, it was fun. Today's episode is going to be about the Villa Kathrine. It's a little villa that this guy named George Metz built in the 1900s. Supposedly, after his mother died, he took this prolonged tour of the Mediterranean to Europe and Africa. He was intrigued with the Mediterranean architecture and the Villa Ben Haben in Morocco. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, and I was trying to find this place. I don't know if it exists or whatever. It gave me something else, but I don't think where he got his idea from exists anymore. I'm not sure. But go on.
Yeah, I don't know too, but
I couldn't find
it. Me either. I tried to research that either. I couldn't find it. Well, the Metz's choice for a model was the Villa Kathrine. He wanted this place to look like the Villa bin Haban or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Morocco. Anyway, you get the picture. You get the hint.
Yeah.
The cost was $7,000 to build back in the 1900s, right? He filled it with authentic furnishings, antiques, and artifacts from his many travels. The foundation is locally limestone and local materials. Little is known about the original interior furnishings of the Villa. Metz was a very private man, and very few photographs exist. And this made the accurate restoration a little difficult. But a little background to this sucker is that I got this little brochure here because, me, I'm forgetful. I have a memory of a goldfish. So the inspiration, like I said, was, from his travels to the Mediterranean. I was thinking to myself, the comedian I am, I'm like, man, back in the day, you'd have to travel like you did on the Titanic across to the Mediterranean, right?
Yes.
You'd have to travel like months just to get there and then come back. So it wasn't just you fly over there and come back. But it will take you months to get all that stuff back to his house, right? So that was interesting. It took a long time to have all that stuff come in, right? So, let's see here. I was in the building, so I went on a little tour here in town because it's not even maybe 4 miles from my house.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, it's pretty neat. A nice little park, and it's like costs $5 for adults to go in, and it's a self-guided tour. You can go wherever you want in there pretty much, and it really looks like it's Moroccan themed. It's pretty neat. I think the guy said it was like 28-inch thick walls. I mean, it's really, really thick walls.
So it's well insulated.
Yeah, well insulated. I mean, it's really warm in there, and then it's really cool depending on the weather. So in 1912, Metz was approached by a couple who begged him to sell the villa. He resisted at first, but finally agreed to sell. He sold the villa, the furnishings, and all, At the age of 63, he moved into an apartment at the Newcomb Hotel, which I don't know where this hotel is at.
Okay.
It could have been torn down by now. I have no idea.
Right.
It was not until after the sale of the villa that the couple's identities became known. They were, in fact, agents for a railroad that had planned to build a railroad yard at the site. Well, the plans never materialized, so the building lay vacant and fell into a long period of neglect and decay. Can you imagine that shit? Selling this stuff and then thinking someone's going to take care of it or sell it, and then it just falls into decay.
Things like that happen in our world today. It's sad.
Exactly. Well, Metz, meanwhile, remained in Quincy until his death in 1937, which he died at the age of 88 due to pneumonia. The Quincy Park District acquired the property in 1955 with the aid of Fabiola Mormon and is still the owner with the Park District's acquisition of the building and grounds. Some rehabilitation was done to make the building a community center recreation area for the neighborhood. The villa was closed a few years later and not to be reopened to the public until 1976. In 1978, a serious effort was undertaken to restore the unique structure. I can't even speak today.
Structure.
Oh, sorry, it's been a day today. Structure.
Yes.
I'm going to kind of how it was back when George Metz had it, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place inside. They did a great job, and I'll put some pictures and a little video up on YouTube. So, the paranormal side, two local legends. So, the naming of the villa, some say that Metz named the building after his mother, Kathrine, with a C, as a memorial to her. Others insist that the villa was named for a young woman named Kathrine with a K, whom Metz had fallen in love with on his travels. And some say she didn't want to come. Others say she got sick and whatever. Anyway, she didn't come and I guess died before the building was completed. But I truly believe he named it after his mother because he was a private man. Right. And he's buried with his parents and his sister. I've been to his grave. Had a hard time finding his grave at the Woodland Cemetery, but I found it. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. But they're all buried together. Who?
The world's largest man at the time. Is he in that same cemetery?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's like 35, 40 miles east of Quincy. Okay. In a town called Neville. So the ghost stories around this place, people around here say it's haunted. He lived in the Villa Kathrine with his dog Bingo, his 212-pound. There's reports that said it was a bull mastiff, and then there was a report that said it was a Great Dane. When I went to the actual Villa Kathrine, the tour guide said it was a Great Dane. So I'm going to go with Great Dane. He purchased the dog. It was reported the largest dog in the world at the time. He purchased it in Denmark. So this dog's from Denmark. When Bingo died, Metz supposedly buried him in the villa's rose garden, wearing a diamond-studded collar. This legend has resulted in more than one late-night treasure hunter digging for the collar. So people have worked there, tour guides, and then like ghost hunters that have been there, reported hearing, you know how when dogs are on wooden floors, you can hear their nails on the floor? They've been reporting hearing that kind of noise on the floor. And if you look on YouTube, if you look up Quincy, Illinois, Villa Kathrine, there's like a little, I forgot the name of the people that have it on there, but there's a little thing where you can hear some ghost hunters, EVP, where it says George Metz. There's EVPs about George Metz and the stuff they did there at the Villa Kathrine. So there's reports of the dog being there. You can hear the dog walking on the floor. You can hear George Metz. And then I went in there. I thought it was a pretty place, but let me tell you something. Those steps to the basement, me and my little cousins, they're 6 and 8. You know how little kids can sense stuff. They would not go into that basement whatsoever. They were like, oh. And I took 2 steps down, and I was like, nope. I didn't want to go down to that basement.
Gotcha.
But I don't think it's that haunted. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if there's anybody out there that has any stories that they would like to share, feel free to, email me or let me know on my website, halfhauntedpodcast@gmail.com. Reach out to me at the podcast, but I don't know. It's a really cool place. It overlooks the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
And there's a huge park and there's a bench. And it's not really handicap accessible. The parking area is, but it's not really handicap accessible.
Oh, that's not nice.
No.
Nice at all.
But the people were friendly. It's like $5 for an adult, $2 for kids under like 12, and then little babies, I guess, are free. And you literally get this brochure, this printout thing.
Yeah.
You can walk around, do your thing, and come back.
Oh, okay.
Self-guided tour.
How long does this?
But yeah,
How long? For about an hour.
You can stay in there as long as you want.
Oh, okay. Grave from Villa Kathrine.
Literally down the street. You can probably walk to it.
All right.
If you needed to. Maybe a quarter of a mile.
Did you take a picture of his grave?
I did.
Oh, okay.
For 2 weekends, I went out there trying to find it because Woodland Cemetery is my favorite cemetery. Right now, I've been to all of them, all of them.
Yeah.
But they're not, to me, it's not very organized as most of them are around here.
Mm-hmm.
They have sections, blocks, but they don't have it like lot 5 is this person, lot this. I had to kind of be, we're in the Willows, Carmen, San Diego. I had to try to find, for 2 weekends, I kept trying to find this place. I knew it was in block 10, but block 10's gigantic. So I kept driving around, and finally I just stopped. The last weekend, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stop. And I just stopped, and I just started walking. And I was like, looking around, I looked down, I'm like, son of a bitch, there it is.
Right.
It's like, shit. It's like finding a missing puzzle piece, and then he was right there, and I'm like, yes, thank God I went on my own.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to be hunting down no grave digger and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, people walk. These cemeteries are no joke.
Yeah.
Like Woodland's nice because you can drive around and people walk their dogs. They have water spouts, trash it up. You can do all kinds of stuff. And that's kind of a creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, but it's interesting. And then there's Greenmount Cemetery, which is right across the street from South Park.
Oh.
Yeah, but South Park.
Really?
And that is the most organized cemetery I've ever been in my life. You know exactly where people are at.
Yeah.
And they have a baby land section.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And they had Voorhees, like Jason Voorhees. They had Voorhees.
Mm-mm.
I roll up, I'm like, what? And there was a guy napping in a car under a tree. I'm like, this would be the perfect place. Nobody's going to bother you. Take a nap.
Well, during the
I hang out in cemeteries, so but it's fun. And then I went this past weekend, I went to see the Robert Earl Hughes, World's Fattest Man.
Yeah.
They had all these pennies and I don't even know what that means. I've seen pennies on graves and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but yeah. So that is Villa Kathrine. I know it's a small little podcast, but I wanted to let people know that this little town of mine that I live in is pretty historic, and there's more to come on this fantastic journey of mine on this podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. We have a Facebook group, Half Haunted, an Instagram page, Half Haunted 13, a YouTube channel, Half Haunted Podcast, and a website, halfhaunted.com. Make sure you subscribe and follow for more ghostly experiences. And if you have any similar stories you'd like us to share on our podcast, please let us know by emailing us at halfhauntedpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening and stay half haunted.